how do you stand out at a car show? Apparently, a dark gray R8 doesn't really pop. And I'm certainly not gonna show up in the 10th WRX or 20th Mustang. I got to wondering what the cheapest and best way to stand out at a car show would be. I'm Brad Danger, and I think I compiled a great list of cheap cars that will get you all the attention at the show. And to start, have I mentioned I like K cars? And so does like everyone else apparently, because you can't go to a thread of a car show without everyone going crazy about them. And you can start by grabbing a fancy cup of coffee. Hey guys, real quick, I wanna thank today's sponsor, HelloFresh.
As you guys know, we like to stay strong and healthy.
Yes, we do. But with our hectic schedules, as you guys probably know, we rarely make it to the grocery store.
Since we love meal prepping, but without working hard, HelloFresh is a lifesaver.
It saves us a ton of time, and I have curated meals ready in 20 or 30 minutes. Plus, they're quick and easy options.
HelloFresh makes living healthy easier with their low-calorie options, their carb-smart options.
Plus, YouTube girlfriend loves the vegetarian and pescatarian options.
And every recipe is packed with fresh produce sourced directly from farmers.
So, let me grab a meal and show you how this all works. So today, on Ideal Cooking, we will be preparing the crispy kickin' cayenne chicken cutlets. And you know that your boy picked that because Porsche has a Cayenne. So it is going to be amazing.
Now let's check out the fresh ingredients, and yes, cooking at home is finally easy.
Dang, these ingredients are more fresh than a white pair of Jordan 3s. Okay, this is done, and if you want to save time, money, and eat healthy, go to HelloFresh.com and use coupon code IDEAL14 at checkout to get up to 14 free meals plus free shipping. And I gotta tell you guys, that is an ideal deal. So thank you for supporting the sponsors that support us, and keep living the ideal lifestyle. And then just climb into the Suzuki Cappuccino. And the Suzuki Cappuccino, well, it's also more than just a fancy cup of coffee. In fact, it's powered by the turbocharged engine that powers the famous and quirky AZ1. It is still mid-engine, which is kinda insane. It's just that the engine is in front of you instead of behind you, which kinda sorta makes it like the Miata's overachieving little brother. And people, They just can't get enough of them. You can actually find people arguing about it online and disputing whether or not it's cooler than other K cars or not. Baby Viper or Baby McLaren? Tell me which one you like better in the comments, would ya? I mean, I love the cap, with the top removed, of course. And then I might be able to sit in it comfortably. It's also cheaper than most other sporty K cars, coming in at roughly 6,000 bucks on Cars and Bids, which may be the cheapest car you can buy that will get you into those sweet JDM sideshows. And when you really start putting your thinking cap on, the Cappuccino is basically the perfect car. So how could anyone not like it? Well, I guess you can be a total buzzkill and point out that they are super slow. Fine, but be prepared to invest some sweat equity to go fast. The DIY American hero, a Cobra Kit Car. All right, come here. Is anyone listening? Okay, good, just you and me? Yeah, here is the big secret. Regular people don't know a kit car from a real car. So instead of spending $500,000 on a real AC Cobra, get a replica. And you know, people love the Cobra. Not only is it incredibly iconic because of all of the time it's gotten on the silver screen, it's basically the original American hero car. As one commentator put it, the general public doesn't know they are worth tons of money. They just know that they are as cool as shit. And so what separates this choice from the others on this list? Well, to me, the Cobra Kit Car is legitimately fast, and it offers a seriously intense driving experience. I'm gonna guess that most of you have not driven a high horsepower car that has no safety features, and well, let's just say that it is a very engaging experience. You just really feel like you accomplished something when you drive one down the road. Plus, if you build it yourself, that can actually get you some more street cred than if you had just bought a supercar. So if you do, wear this ideal sweater up here so you don't get cold with the top down. And I think it's one of our better pieces of merch. So you might want to snag one now that it's just getting cold out. And you'll get compliments both on your kit car and your sweater. Now, you don't have to build a car yourself, but that is the way to do it for less than 20 grand. Still, I know you're probably really busy and you probably don't have the space, but good news. People still sell their replica Cobras all the time, and they're usually an amazing value, and they are guaranteed by me to turn heads at any car show you go to. So here's a super clean one from Factory 5, which is probably one of the best replica companies out there, for just 33,000 bucks. And with a Coyote motor under the hood and modern suspension, that thing is straight up a supercar slayer that will gather a crowd, no doubt, wherever you go. And that's for less than half the price of the Ideal R8, which I use the Ideal Car Strategies on to get an incredible deal. And you could too on any of these Ideal cars on this list by checking out our free webinar up here. Because the key cars and the old sports cars are super impractical, and like it takes effort to have less functionality than a Miata, and these cars are difficult to daily. So what if you could have something that's just as cute as a K car, but with tons of utility? Well, guess what? You can with K-Trucks. I'll take a break from K-Cars after this, but I have to talk about these because they may be my favorite tiny vehicle. Go get a K-Truck, just about any K-Truck. And if you need any inspiration at all, go watch the Mighty Car Mods take a couple of trucks through the wilderness in their feature K to the Mountains. It is definitely worth watching. Or, well, just check your local comment section. Any K-Truck is bound to get some attention. And the best part about it is that unlike anything else on our list, the K-Truck is actually super practical. It solves so many real world problems. Can't park a big truck in your city, but you still want a gardener? Well, get a K-Truck. Can't afford to put gas in a giant dump truck? K-Truck. Want to go off-roading but can't afford a new Jeep for your fiance? K-Truck. Man, I should have bought YouTube girlfriend a K-Truck instead of the Jeep. Now, the most common ones are Hondas, Daihatsus, or Mitsubishis. Sometimes they are very, very cheap. Here's a Honda that's 4-wheel drive, and it's only 7,000 bucks. You could buy like 10 of these instead of buying a new Jeep. And here's the one I think is the best, or most ideal, dare I say. This awesome modified high-jet manual with a hydraulic dump bed. I mean, how can you not love that thing? It is so cool. But that won't get you into those classic car shows. You know, the ones with super nice cruisers and stuff. So what you do, you buy a car that everyone loves. Something like Volkswagen Bug or an OG Mini or a Rat Rod. It really is impossible to hate those cars, and they're old enough that you can get into all the classic shows. So let's start with the real pride of Fernandad Porsche, the Beetle. The Volkswagen Type 1, AKA the Slug Bug. No punchbacks, right? Am I the only one that played that game? Punch the like button if you did too, so we know how many of you guys played, or if I'm just dating myself. The Beetle was designed in the 20s and first produced in the 30s and continued mostly unchanged until, get this, 2003, when the last one was built in Mexico. There were more than 21.5 million Beetles. And admit it, you love seeing one when it's going down the road. I mean, everyone does. How can you hate something that's so adorable, that's always smiling at you? It's just such an iconic, classic shape. And I think one of the things that makes the Beetle so endearing is that almost everyone has owned one, or at least ridden in one, or has a story about one. You drive up anywhere and someone's gonna go, "Is that a Beetle? Nice. I owned one back in 1974. I went everywhere in that little car." Driving one makes you instantly connected to like every car owner out there, and it's a really cool feeling. And when you're driving one and you own one, you're really the only person invoking those memories and spreading all that joy to all those other people for less than 5 grand any day. And just a warning, owning a Volkswagen Beetle is a double-edged sword. Yeah, you feel like a movie star everywhere you go because everyone will want to tell you a story about them, but they kind of suck to drive. The steering sucks, the high power models make 38 horsepower. and you're just gonna feel dumb the first time you put gas in it and you can't find the filler cap. So what if you could have a classic car that everyone loves and that's super fun to drive and still isn't that expensive? You totally can. I mentioned the Mini Cooper before, and you better believe it's the next entry. It's really the car that started a revolution in automotive design. You put the engine up front, mounted the wrong way, drive the front wheels, and then you don't need like drivetrains and stuff taking up interior space. So then you can keep your car super lightweight, which means that it'll handle like a go-kart and you can still get up to traffic speeds before you finish your novel. Plus, it gets amazing gas mileage. This car, it was so ahead of its time, I would love to drive one around Wales. I know there's companies in London where you can rent them just to tour around, and that seems just like so much fun. And here in the States, the Mini reminds people of a better time, when we all rode around in yellow submarines and they can't help but smile. Now, as far as price, they do cost a wee bit more than a Beetle. Here's a newer one for about 10 grand. And if you get cheaper than that, you're probably gonna have to fix them. I mean, after all, they're British. But for 10 grand, that thing is guaranteed to be an eyeball magnet. So, the Beetle is a car that's old, slow, and everyone's owned one. And the Mini is a car that is revolutionary and super fun to drive. What about something for people that just like raw Mad Max aesthetics? The third car in our previously mentioned classic trifecta enters the chat. It's called the Rat Rod. For those of you that don't know, a rat rod is a hot rod that's, well, ratty AF. They're usually T-buckets or similar style rods that have a huge motor, and absolutely no effort goes into making them look good. I'm talking rust, I'm talking mismatched parts, random crap bolted to the bare bone frame. If you haven't watched Roadkill, well, guess what guys, you're missing out. That's the dream job of some of the Ideal crew, including yours truly. They actually really just like working on cars and want to go fix and hoon junked cars. Crucially to this video though, they once did a test where they took a shiny new Lambo and put it up against a rusty death trap rat rod. And they drove around to see which one was more popular. And spoiler alert, spoiler alert, people are way more into the tetanus missile than the supercar. So if you love character and are confused into thinking that terrifying is the same as exciting, well, there's a rat rod for your budget. Building your own from a free junkyard ride is a great option. But if you want to buy something that's been pre-built, expect to spend between 5 and 15 grand. Heck, here's one for 8. And it even looks practical with those back seats. Now, you don't normally get back seats with a rod, but this one has them, which means you can have 4 times the fun. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have an entry for all of you people out there that complain all the time when we say 5 grand is cheap. And it's another Volkswagen and it's newer than the Beetle, thank God. And it's really more of an idea that can be done to any car, even the one that you already know. It's called the Harlequin. The Volkswagen Harlequin series, mostly the Harlequin Golf, were cars that came from the factory with totally mismatched colors. And that's the big secret to standing out. This comment really sums it all up. Honestly, anything with a bright paint color, that's all you need to stand out. If you have a Prius, paint it like the orange Supra from Fast and Furious, and boom, instant car show bait. Have a Porsche 997, wrap it bright blue and sprinkle a little pink on it. And people will focus on it instead of your new Audi R8. Yeah, that even surprised me. So you don't even need to buy a new car. Just make the car that you currently own look kind of like clown throw up and you're pretty much good to go. But if you're going to buy a car, the Volkswagen Harlequin is probably the ultimate crowd pleaser. Like the Beetle and the Mini, people love the Volkswagen Golf. Like the Cobra, the Golf is incredibly iconic. And it's unusual to see a Harlequin on the road like the key cars. And like the Rat Rod, it's clear that there's a story behind the crazy paint job. The only problem is that, well, they can be hard to find. Here's one that's $1,500, but it needs a lot of work. Work that you are definitely willing to put in for something this cool, because that only makes the story you'll get to tell people gathered 20 deep even sweeter. All right, let's do one more car. And it's a supercar, kind of. From Mazda, the AutoZam. Yeah, AZ1. I think of the charm of these tiny cars comes from the fact that they're tiny. Big things come in small packages, but the AutoZam takes it one step, maybe too far or just further. Plus it's also really weird looking and it stands out because it's weird. And be honest, if you saw one, you'd go look at it instead of the Ferrari or the slammed R8. And as one owner reports, people will circle 3 deep at Cars and Coffee. And that's pretty amazing for a car at any price point, let alone a car that you can get for less than 20 grand every day of the week. If you want one, Daddy Doug's website, Cars and Bid, seems to be the best place to look, which is actually where I bought Girth Brooks. And you can watch me winning that auction in this ideal vid, because it was a little bit of a disaster. But it makes sense that they're on Cars and Bids because, well, they're just basically a collection of quirks and features that make it the most affordable supercar ever. Hear me out on this, because the doors go up like the Mercedes SLS. The headlights are flush, just like a Miura, which is the first supercar ever. Plus, it's mid-engine, rear-wheel drive like a C8 Corvette, and it's wedge-shaped with vents everywhere like a McLaren 570S. The AZ1 is a supercar. Fight me. Okay, don't fight me. It might be a supercar, maybe not. So that's our list. Did you enjoy it? What's your strategy for standing out at car shows when you go? Let us know in the comments below. I want to know some new strategies to stand out because, when I go to car shows, it's almost like I'm invisible. But I actually read once that the best way to get all the attention is to have a food truck and just sell food at the show. So I can't say I disagree, but this has been ideal. And please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Green slug bug. No tag backs. And also, if you're new here, my name is Brad Danger. This is Ideal Cars. Please subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and check out the 7 rookie mistakes that I see car buyers make all the time when trying to buy their ideal car and make money enjoying it by checking out our webinar for the Ideal Car Strategies in the description. I hope you're having an awesome day. Say it with me. Keep living the ideal lifestyle.